This is Charlie giving you Friday's live trading, and hopefully we can get some. Anyway, it's 8:15. I'm not seeing much just yet. We'll go into that in a second. And but to start off with, we've been getting a number of people over the last several weeks saying, "Oh, could Charlie give his settings for momentum that he talks about, or for his bands that he uses on his charts?" And the problem is, I can't just give those away because they're part of our packages. But talking of which, if you are interested in day trading to any extent, and even intraday sort of swing, then all of that is encompassed within our day trading package, because within our day trading these days we have the momentum is all included and the finer points are included. So that shows you all of the momentum, how I use all my momentum charts, and obviously these bands as well. So all of that is included within that day trading package. So if anyone's interested, we just put it all together now. It gives you free access to the trading room for 6 months as well. Come and join the community. You just come into education on our site and go to easy trade, day trading, and all of that is now included. So you get the momentum and you get the finer points as well. So it's all in there. But so I thought I'd just mention that today, because we seem to keep on getting questions about the bands and momentum. And I must say that when I'm trading, then it's so useful to have momentum on your side each day. It's the first thing I look at each morning and all day to get a gauge for where we are. So let's go into the markets right now then. So I've got the chart on a cable chart, and obviously on the daily charts it's had a lovely run over the last couple of days. If you follow us on Facebook as well, or Twitter, again I mentioned that on Monday's update, but if you follow us on those, then you see that we're putting more comments up. Try not to overload it, but just maybe one a day or so, just giving you a little bit of extra commentary on that. So if you're not following us on that, you may just be missing out slightly, because I've been putting some commentary on this week saying I was looking for cable and euro to be going up a couple of days ago, and dollar yen to come down, and various things like that. So it can be of use to you. So have a look at us on there as well. So the pound, it's had this lovely run up, and now we're in this dilemma stage, and I knew this was going to happen. I was talking to the guys in the trading room yesterday. So if I take us to not a 6-day chart, an intraday hourly chart, then what you can see is we've had this lovely trend here over the last couple of days or so. But what we have currently this morning is trend up on the intraday time frames, but momentum is down. And so when I get that, it just stops me from being able to trade, because if I come to a 5-minute chart of the pound, you can see that actually we've got the bands here, and I could short into the upper band. But the problem is, like I've already said, is that we are in overall an upwards trend. It could work out, of course it could, and it could end up being a really nice trade, of course. But it's one of those trades where I haven't got everything lined up in the way that I would like to. And so when we're trading, we're trying to put as many probabilities in our favor as possible, and the way that I trade, when I'm trying to trade with momentum as well, then it's just not there, and it probably won't be there all day. I mean, literally as I'm talking right now, it's just coming into its 30-minute 50 MA. So let me show you that. So it's coming straight into support right there. There we go. So it's going to be a little bit difficult here and I thought that yesterday, we said that in advance yesterday. I said probably the pound and the euro dollar are going to be quite difficult today, if they just want to do a pullback day after 2 good days up, or they may just want to have a bit of an intraday chop day. That's going to make them very difficult to trade. However, all is not lost as we go back out to the daily charts, and it's going to be a similar thing with the euro dollar. As we can see, euro dollar's had this lovely push up, and if we come into the 5-minute chart, again it's pulling down. It's exactly the same as the pound. Could in theory short into the bands, but if we go back to that hourly chart again, we've got a lovely upwards trend, but momentum is now down. Or now I never show you my momentum charts; they're off on my other screens. So, and I don't like conflict. We want to trade when we've got trend up, momentum up sort of thing, or early stage trend up, or and I'll start to trade this if all the charts are rolling over, but they're just not quite there at the moment. You see that the 21 period moving average is fiercely facing up at the moment. So there's what I call a little bit of work to do. So it doesn't mean to say that I can't at some point today get on the short side, because we've got, if we look here on the euro dollar, we've got the hourly 50 right down here, and that can often provide quite a nice target. So if we can come down a bit more first, and I see all my charts rolling over, then there's a bit of space, so to speak, between them rolling over and an entry, and potentially there as a downside target. But I'd have to see how the momentum's looking at that stage. So okay, so that's euro and the pound. So where may I be able to get a trade? Well, there's a couple of areas. If we go to, first of all, the dollar yen, and if I just, it's still on an hourly chart here, if I just put it in perspective, look how many times we keep on testing this zone here over the last, well, since middle, no, I don't know, what's that, 23rd of May. So we've got that whole zone that we've been testing. I'm still looking for, on the overall on dollar yen, for it to break lower back into the 90s, and so I am actively keeping my eye on it. I don't like the fact, unfortunately, that just over the last 2 days that it's getting a bit choppy here. So I just have to be a little bit wary of the chop, because you can just get in just as it's breaking down and then get chopped up and it comes back up again, a bit like it would have done several times here. But at some point, you always have to argue that at some point it's going to have to go. So if the momentum's lined up when it goes, if it goes, then great, and I'll go in on that. So that's that one. And what else have we got? The one that I'm really keeping my eye on is this Aussie dollar. This is an hourly chart of the Aussie dollar. Wouldn't take a lot for the Aussie dollar to turn. I'd like to see get onto the Aussie dollar on the long side. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one today to see if we can get something going there on the Aussie dollar. And so there's a couple of that are there, and we've got the euro yen as well. I was in a long, but I'm out of that now. It hit a target of 132 overnight and then stopped me out on the remainder. I'd started moving my stop up, so I had a net profitable gain there, but it's probably my fault. I've moved my stop up and thinking, right, here it goes, it's going to break out, and it goes. So I moved my stop up to 131.55. And then it's gone, and then so it hit a target at 132, and I still had another stake in, which has just come down and stopped out. But overall, a profitable trade on that. But that's that one. So I'll keep my eye on this one, because this one again, if the euro yen came up today, I've got a feeling that if we've got the euro backing off and pulling back today, then it may just not do much for the euro yen. So we'll see how we go. Right, I've just done 7 minutes of commentary and we haven't even done a trade yet, so I've got to press pause. Okay, so I've just pressed pause, but it looks like this dollar yen, we're going to give it a go. So I'm going to start to initiate some positions here. I'm only trading at 100,000s here again, because it's setting itself up here. I'll just put 2 in. Let's see if we can get 4 in. There's 3. So because it's setting itself up, but it's not the cleanest, like I said, on the hourly charts. But I can't deny that at the moment it has got increasing downside momentum. It's not the most amazing increasing downside momentum, but it is increasing. So I'm going to give it a go. The chart itself is like I said, is a bit choppy. There we go. So we've got the 4 in. Is a bit choppy, but we'll just see if it's going to have a crack. If we come back out to the hourly chart, then as we can see what's happening, it's like a slow, steady rollover, which I'm not as keen on, but we've got some downside momentum, and we'll just see if this is going to actually follow through. So let's bring the account over, and then we will try and figure out. I've got to put the stops in and all of that, so we can't show you the whole account, well, because otherwise we won't be able to see the screen. So here's the account at the moment, here's the trade, so let me just move that off because I need to be able to see the screen. So we've got those in around about 72 or so, so it's not a huge stop. So if I put the stop up at 85 even, I'm not expecting it to come that far. I don't want it to come that far, should I say. But sometimes when it's sloppy, it could come up that far and then roll over, but I'll be out there. So I'm going to keep it fairly tight so far, but the risk reward will be good, because I'd lose about 300 odd pounds on that trade, but the potential is to make a lot more than that. So let's just put the stops in. So no, still can't. I need to see the screen so I can see what levels to put it at. Right, 185. Yeah. Okay, right. I'll just put these on. I'll press pause and I'll just do these whilst, so you don't need to watch whilst I'm doing all these. Okay, well, it's having a bit of a move here at the moment, just off of that. So literally, this is the candle just press pause on, and it's come down a bit, as we can see. So So I haven't even had a chance to put all my stops in yet. So because we're coming down a bit, I'm just having a look here. We're getting close to the first target actually. So let's see if we can. I'll bring up a ticket. We're in like as you can see. No, you can't see, can you? Well, you can off here. 73 was this deal ticket, so up about 15 pips on this element. And first target is coming in just a couple of pips. So we'll just see if it can have that couple more pips down, and we'll be approaching that first target. But the nice thing is with this is that, like I said, is the risk reward was quite good. So we're already well beyond our initial risk if I can get to if it can come down to that level. But so I'm not trying to just take the like 10 pips off or anything like that. So just going to see if we can get that extra flurry down or not. So just as I've come back on sound, it's now pausing. It's always the way, isn't it? You guys know, always pause, stops when I actually press record again. So I'll press pause because I'm looking for down into around about the mid 50s, and that'll be where I'll be taking the first profit if we can get down to there. And then we've got potentially a real nice run, a reasonable amount lower. So let's see if we can just get this first profit done first. And so if we have this little bit more of a flurry, we're at 8:29 a.m. at the moment. No, it's not going to. No, it's not. It's going to play around, isn't it? See if it's going to get there before I press pause. I'll press pause. Come back in a sec. Okay, so it's just coming down there now. See if we can get there. It is. Okay, so there's the first target taken. And if we take off second one as well, that's nice. So it's about 20 pips there off the second one. So off a nice run so far, and looks like very quickly I'll be looking to move my stops down even a little bit, even if I move them down to 180, just to lock in the profit that I've already generated. So let's move those stops down to 80 because it's already had a nice enough run. So I don't really want it to come back to there now anyway. So let's just do that. So the momentum, like I said, is down across the board. Just when I took that trade, just under 10, not even 10 minutes ago, we were here, and the momentum, like I said, was down, but the price action was a little bit sloppy, but it was warranted taking the trade for the sake of just over a 10 pip initial stop, about 12, 13 pip initial stop. It was worthwhile given from a risk reward perspective, giving it a go. And now it's just a case of seeing whether my stop's going to be okay and not too far away. I don't want to give it all back and go back to flat now when you're up a reasonable amount. So we're still giving it some slack. So entries are around about 72 or so, weren't they? So I'd still take losses on that, but obviously we've taken some gains on the of 20 points, or just one of them was just under 20 points, one of them was just over 20 points. So, but the momentum's looking okay. But let's just take us back to the hourly chart here. So we've come right way into these lows, and what I really want us to do is not to bounce now, and I want us to, well, it can bounce a little bit, but I really want to see if we're just going to break. So looking for that big run down. So what am I looking for from a price perspective? We'll have to take us out to a 4-hour time frame, because we were looking at this yesterday, and well, we've got the 4-hourly 200 on my chart as at let me just press pause and have a, okay, it's at 44. So I'll put a limit order in to take profits at 44. Come on, charts, you can come back to us. It's just waiting for it to reload. And then what I'll also do is, there we go. So I'll put a limit order in now at 44 because I'm going to go and get myself ready. So let's put one in at 44, or just above that it will be. So that's at 144. So I'll put it in at 46, just ahead of it. No, let's put it in at 45. Yeah. And I'm going to leave the other one because let's come back out. I'll leave the account on for you again, because I've actually got the 4-hour 200 MA on my e-signal charts, which I'm looking at off screen, are down at 21. So it's a lot further. And actually, what I may do, I probably would take the profit down at 21, just because that hasn't been hit for a long time. So I'm basing it on both charts. So we've got the 200 down at 44, like I say, on telecharts is down at 44 and it's down at 21 on. You see, you get these big discrepancies between charts. So I'm giving myself both options, but either way, it doesn't really matter if I come out at one on one and one on the other. It'll still be a reasonable enough trade, because that'll be 30 points on that part and about 50 points on the other part. So we'll just see how this is going to go. But I'd really like to see it break without too much of a retracement. I could probably get away with moving my stop down to about 78 now, just to lock in a little bit more. I want to give it enough space if it does want to retrace up a little bit up towards the bands and then roll over, but at the same time I don't want to give it too much to give back everything. But if I get stopped out now anyway, it's still going to roll all the way back and we'll end up with about 100 odd pounds on the trade. But that's what you do when you're trying to run a trade. That's the whole point, is that you have to put up with the retracements, and sometimes the fact that you don't end up with quite as much profit on some trades, and we've talked about this before. That can be very frustrating for a trader when you've seen yourself up in a trade, and we get that come across from traders. Sometimes they'll email in saying, "Oh, I was in this trade and it was up so much, and I thought it was going to go further." And there's a distinct difference between greed and just holding on with pure greed, and actually just having logical targets. And so but at the same time, when you're trying to run a trade, very often you're still going to find 60% of the time, 6 out of 10 times, it will come back up to your stop and stop you out. But you only need those extra few times where you get that nice run, then they more than make up for that. The main thing is you get into a position once you're in it. Once you're in that position, that you can't lose. So you're now in a favourable position whereby it doesn't really matter if it comes up, because you can't lose anymore. So I can move this stop down to about 78 now. So I'll do that and I'll press pause. Oh, one thing to add here, was while we're waiting to see what's going to happen, is could I add to my position? Is there the possibility of being able to do that? Yeah, absolutely. There is the possibility of being able to add to the position. We've not done a 5 live band play yet. However, I'd really like to see us properly clear this zone on the hourlies before trying to play a band play and add into the position. So what I'd like to see happen is us to break first and come lower first, and then do that. If it comes up now and does that, then I'll just leave that alone. So that's the plan. So I can actually add to this position if we come down lower and start looking for other opportunities to build the position. Okay, I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back. I've been getting ready. So it's obviously hit that second target. Actually, I have a slight confession, because I moved the target down to 41 because I wanted to see just that little bit more. I thought it might just overthrow that 200 on telechat, especially if I'm looking for the 200 on the 4-hour time frame of e-signal anyway. So as you can see, it's overthrown that now. It's at 37, as I can see right now. So as far as the trade's concerned, we've still got this one position left in. So you see that second target was there. So as far as the entries, we've got these entries at 72s and 73s. We came out at 55 for, what's that, 18 pips, 51 for 21 pips, 41 for 30 pips, and then currently we're at 33, so almost up 40 pips at the moment. But you know, it's funny actually, because I was getting ready and I was listening to this new American Heartland album. I like having the music on when I'm on, but it's quite good actually. But I think it's supposed to be for women, not for men. But anyway, I enjoy it. And I was thinking that the price action actually looked quite good. And if I'd have been around here when we did the 5 live, I was thinking, well, I could have just put a half lot trade in up there, and then use that as a real runner, just to see if we can get 100 to 200 points plus. So I've got a decision to make here. I haven't put a limit order in yet, and we're getting very close to that target. So do I take it, or do I still try and run further? I mean, that's always the eternal dilemma, isn't it? That 200 moving average on that, I'm looking at it at the moment on the 4-hour chart, that hasn't been hit for quite a long time. But overall, my overall analysis of the dollar yen is that I'm looking for more downside. But that doesn't mean to say it can't bounce off this. It's just a bit below where we've been. It couldn't bounce off of there and then come all the way back up and then come again for it another time and break another time. I just don't know at the moment. So interesting at the moment as to what may transpire here. A dilemma. Do I take it or do I? Let me have a quick look. I'm going to turn the press pause and have a look at the charts and get some more analysis done. Okay, just having a look at it. Here's the daily chart. We've got the daily 50. This is on telecharts coming at just under 100. I think it makes sense really to look for 100. It's these prior highs here. So I'm actually going to see if we can get an overrun of that 200 moving average, which is down at 121. See if we can just get an overrun down towards 100. So about 105. I'm going to put a limit order in that because I am going to be going down the gym. Let's just there we go. I need to move my stop as well, don't I? Let's have a look and see where to move the stop to. Let's move it to break even now to 70. That'll hopefully be okay there. And if it's not, then so be it. So let's move it to, well, we'll move it to 71. So then therefore that is, oops, break even there. Well, break even would actually be 70 because I can see my entry was at 71.4, but I'll leave it at there. 71. So whatever happens, yeah, if it comes all the way back up, still be a pain in the neck. But what happens? We've banked 200, 300, 400, 440 odd, maybe to 450. Yeah. If it was to come back up and stop me out, so it'll still not be a bad little run, even with the position size that I've done, even if it was to come up and stop me out. But I'd really like to see it carry on thrusting down like I've been talking about. Let's just have another look at let's come out to like an hourly chart and look at that euro yen again. So it looks like my exit was, sorry, euro yen, where's it gone on my list here? There it is. My exit overnight, I said to the guys in the room, I'd target up there at 132, but it was a good job I moved my stop up by the looks of things, because that's being affected by, well, both the euro and the yen. And so this one's rolling over, and it had such good prospects yesterday, but and it held up quite nicely yesterday, and then pushed up for the round number and has rolled over. So we're keeping our eye on that one as well, really. And let's go back and have a look at the euro. Now, what's interesting here with the euro dollar is, like I said earlier on, back on the 5-minute chart, I said when it was looking like it could be doing a 5 live band play, and I said, look, the reason I don't take that one is because you've got overall trend is down, sorry, up on the hourly charts, remember, but 5-minute trend is down and momentum is down, and so what that equals is conflict. And so what you end up doing is, if you'd have taken that trade, I certainly would have got stopped out. It'd way overrun it, even though ultimately it's rolled back down. But that's what happens when you've got conflict, is that you get these swings. So ultimately you could be right on your trade, but you're probably going to get nicked out and stopped out of your trade in the meantime. So it makes it very difficult to trade in that direction. You want to be able to, a bit like the dollar yen, like we've done this morning, try and find dollar yen, try and find those occasions where, or those opportunities where it is lined up. And sometimes I can't. Sometimes it might be a double top. You see me doing these trades, sometimes it might be a double top with a divergence and negative momentum on an hourly chart. Well, that's okay, because I know that I'm getting in right near the highs, but trying to capture it once it's already within a range is a lot more difficult. So anyway, at the moment, looking for that downside target of down about 105, and I don't know, I mean, I've been looking for a bigger run on the yen for a long time now, and so maybe this looks like it could well be the beginning of that run, but this is obviously a day trade, and so I haven't been able to manage to get in on a swing. Funnily enough, if we go back out to an hourly chart, yeah, I guess there's no, I think it's made it that easy to get in on the swing side. I tried to get short just 2 days ago here. I put an order in during the day, and it got to within 2 pips of my high there, and I would have taken some off if it had come down, and then trying to run the rest, and then I would have obviously got stopped out, but that would have been fine. But at the moment, I don't know where I'm going to be getting in on the swing basis yet, but there's always plenty of time, so no rush on that. What's nice is if we're starting to see this roll over, then it will make it clearer to then sell the rallies and all of that. So, but for now, we'll just see how this is going to go. I'm going to be heading off down the gym. It's 9:40, and see where we get to when I get back. Well, I haven't managed to get to the gym yet. I've just been Kim phoned, and so I've been on the call there. So, but actually, I'm just seeing this the dollar yen again. It had a bounce and it's just rolling over. If it comes down to these lows, I'm going to have to take the profit because we're going to be setting up for quite a nice little divergence down there, and we'll just bank it and say thanks. I think if we come down there. We've got, like I said, that 4 hourly 200s below. I was really looking for it to explode lower, and what I've seen just while I was on the phone to Kim is that we've actually got 4 hourly triple divergence in play, positive divergence that is. Doesn't mean to say that it has to stop prices, and prices can carry on going lower, but that is there as a warning. So if we can come down to these lows here, then I'll look to take that off because we have got a divergence. If I can show you, let's see if we can do this. Yeah, let's bring up the RSI now, so hopefully you can see this. There you go. So here's the potential divergence here. So from this low here, we've made a low on RSI, and I can see that even if we come down to the double bottom, we'll be diverging. RSI will be higher. So that's what I'm seeing there. And let's move that back. Now it's just a case of whether that is, if it is going to be able to roll over there. If it doesn't, then I'll just leave it alone. I'm not going to be fighting and just coming out and just fighting it. So we'll just see if it does come down there. So I'll just hold off from going to the gym for a minute. It's 10 o'clock, and so and just see if that does come down in this move. If it doesn't in this move, I'm happy for just to leave it, because what will happen is that divergence will just disappear if it doesn't come down within this move and it faffs around. So we'll leave it alone. So I'll just give it a few minutes and see before heading. Okay, I can't sit around here waiting for the markets to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust everything. So I'm going to put my targets in at about 29 now. So let's put that in. Oops. So let's put that target in at 29 at that low. Looks like it would need to, actually on the chart it's 30, isn't it? I better put it in at 30 because it would need to breach that. And I'm going to move that stop down right down now as well, and we'll lock it in. Lock in the profits there. Put it in at 53, so it's just up. Let's have a look. Just up here. So if it comes up to there now, then we might as well. Because the whole pace of the move seems to have slowed down. We've got a trend line. If I was to draw it on here, that it may actually want to at some point, once you start putting in, there we go, a series like that, then usually you can see we've got a channel in place, and at some point this is probably going to want to break that. Looks like the downside pace has slowed, so that's why I'm just locking it in now. So and if we come down to that level, then great. And sometimes the downside side pace can slow, and actually what happens is then it accelerates obviously off again just when you think, oh, this is looking like it's going to turn, but I'm locking that in. So it's sorry, let's get that down there. So whatever happens now, we'll end up with, I don't know what it'll be. So not bad little run. So I'm giving it just still a little bit of slack there. And but at the same time, if it can come down, then so be it. So I'll get this wrapped up when I get back from the gym, and we'll just see what's happened. But whatever happens, it's going to be a half decent little morning for not doing a lot really. I could have a look at some of the other markets. The euro yen's really coming down quite nicely. It's I haven't even looked at the euro dollar either. I assume maybe that's coming down as well. Yeah, it is. Euro yen. Let's have a quick look here. Euro yen. Where have you gone off screen? Oh, okay, it's potentially coming down for a little double bottom itself. So and naturally I think that one's got a divergence in play. So yeah, it's looking like maybe these markets are slowing to the downside. The pound's having a nice run to the upside, I think, yeah. And the Aussie dollar, let's have a quick look at that one before we finish here. This time, yeah, it's still coming down. I was looking to get on the long side of Aussie today, but it was only if we had positive momentum start to come in. But at the moment, nothing there. It's just coming back down to retest its lower band here on the daily charts here. So that could find support down there, but I think I'll leave that one alone for now. So looks like that's going to be it for the morning's trading. Just going back to the dollar yen, and this looks like it's probably going to bounce. So we'll see where we get to when I get back. Okay, just back from the gym. And it's what, 11:28 now, and as you can see, the euro dollar yen has come up. So I did the right thing in tucking my stop down to 50, wasn't it? Just below 50. I had it at 53, and I tucked it down to these highs about 48 or something like that. So it was the right decision. And going back to the
the bigger time frame charts. And like I said, this is the thing, which what you learn as a trader, and certainly from being in our trading room, is how to read the charts. And sometimes when a market is making lows, but new lows, and really what I wanted here on the 4 hour time frame is for us to really start to thrust down. That would have been great, and that's why I started to widen my target, because I thought, well, if this is going to go, but then you notice that we're only making marginal new lows at the time. So fair enough, I'm trying to stay in the trade, tuck the stop down, because like I said, I was seeing divergences on a 4 hour chart. Move the stop down, and then we'll see. And at the moment, all that's happening is it's coming back into that range again. Now, I don't know yet whether it is going to come back up way up into the 70s or beyond as yet, or maybe this is just a very shallow rally and it's going to roll over again. But the price action hasn't been quite as nice. It's been a nice trade, but not quite as nice as we'd have wanted. I really would have wanted to have seen that. There we go. It's up at 66, 67 now. I really would have wanted to have seen that really start to flush on down when it was coming down. So we got in up here on the 5-minute chart, rode it through all this and had some nice exits. There you go. So if I'd have left my stop up at break even, there you go, it's coming back. So hopefully that's a good evidence to you as to why I make the decisions I do. You're trying to read the markets and see what they give you. So all in all, 600 quid, I might as well call it that, £496, so call it £600 on that trade this morning. Really would have liked to have got to 1,000 this morning on this trade. If we'd have got that bit more of a run down, and it would have pushed on through, then like I said, down to 05, then we'd have been pushing towards that level. But not bad for a single trade there this morning. And so what am I going to see this afternoon? I think if I just use the hourly charts for now, you start to look at the dollar yen and think, yeah, okay, it's poked its head down, it's come straight back up. We'll keep our eye on it and see if it flushes over later this afternoon, but it's just come back up into that range. Let's have a look at the euro yen. That's had a good run down after such a good run up yesterday, and just giving it all back, and now it's below its hourly 50, so it's just playing a game of chop suey either side of the 50 moving average at the moment. So again, we need some definitive breaks on these. And then if we look at the likes of the pound dollar, like I said earlier on, trend up and pulling down against that trend, so not really that interested in the pound dollar. And it's the same with the euro, even though the euro's had a deeper retrace, as we can see, down to its hourly 50. It's had a nice move down, but overall trend still up, so I can see some bounces coming in that market. But at the moment, where do I see us going into next week? Well, I think into the early part of next week, if the euro and cable can start to get up into this zone, they can bounce from here, and I see the momentum turn positive. This will be Monday now, I can't see it happening today, but then I'd be looking for breakouts again on the euro and pound. So I see that this is probably just going to be one of those days after 2 nice up days. We're having a bit of an inside sort of pullback day, so I see that's the way it is. And back to that old Aussie dollar, let's go and have a look at that one, because I was keen on the Aussie dollar. Really would have liked to have traded that. Still sitting down on its lower band on the dailies. I'm still going to be interested in this one going into the early part of next week. If I see it start to turn again with positive momentum, then I think there could be a really nice little 1 or 2 day swing developing in that one. I'm not interested in trading it just yet, not while it's down there at those lows, but it's one to keep an eye on. Anyway, I shall leave that with you. Have a fabulous weekend. Back in touch on Monday.